Hey gang, it's Mike Platt here. Today we got another homebrew tasting. I believe this is homebrew tasting video number 10. We have 3 things to try today. 1 wine, 2 beers. Let's get started. First, we're going to try our strawberry wine. Now, I made this back in March, this around the 6-month period. Wines are just going to take a little longer to ferment out, to mellow, age. There's a lot more fermentation chemistry kind of going on, so wines tend to take a little bit longer to ferment. So at the 6-month point, this should be ready to go. Our recipe was basically 3 pounds of frozen strawberries, 2 pounds of sugar. Because so many of the fermentables were in the strawberries, it's kind of tough to do a hydrometer reading, so we just kind of skip that. So we're kind of flying by the seat of our pants as far as the ABV goes. Let's give her a try. Alright. Nice little pink colored, little hazy. I did not use anything like defining agents or anything like this, so it will be a little cloudy if you make this at home. Let's give her a try. Oh, that's nice. That is real. That is pleasant. It's sweet, but not viscously sweet. Yeah, that, you know what I might have made there, and if you're of a certain age, you'll definitely appreciate it. I don't know if this is still popular. When I was in college, I loved Strawberry Hill, and that's got a little Strawberry Hill in that. If you ever drink the Boone's Farm, they're sweet, there's a little acidity, it's simple, but it works, you know, just on that level, and I think the strawberry wine is right there. But that is actually a decent little sipper. That is something I could definitely, you know, drink outside on a warm day. I think if I make it again, I definitely would try some fining agents, because a little murky up to the light. But besides that, as far as the flavor goes, I'm more than happy with it. That's one more for the road. All right. Moving on now, we're going to slide everything forward. Next, I have a blonde ale I made back in April. Our original gravity was 1048, final gravity 1010 for 5% alcohol by volume. If I remember the recipe right, that was kind of in the range of what we were shooting for. Let's give her a try. All right, a little bit of hiss there. Some carbonation. Some bubbles. Not as much of a head as I want. Smells pleasant enough. Let's give her a try. Not bad. Body-wise, in line with a blonde ale in the sense it's an easy drinker. But compared to your light lagers, a little more body, a little more viscosity. That definitely fits in there. If I remember right, let me go in my notes real quick. But if I remember right, no, I went with the Safale. I was going to say, I thought I went with the Kvike, but that, a little more. I'm getting more fruity esters than normal. Maybe it's because I did go with, you know what, back in April I probably would have gone with just a regular Safale USO 5. I wasn't going with the Kvike. As I told you before, the Kvike probably works better out here in Vegas this time of year, the heat of the summer and stuff. Doesn't get a stress where you get those funky little phenols. That's what happened here. It's not bad. It's still very drinkable, very approachable, but I get some of those funky esters that you get out of a yeast that has fermented at slightly warmer temperature, and I think that's kind of what I got here. Overall, still very drinkable. Yeah, I'm not upset with that at all. Like I said, maybe just the temperature and that yeast. We were, late April, and when I would have bottled it and bottle conditioned, we had gotten to May. So yeah, maybe stress just a little bit on the yeast, but overall not too bad. All right, let's slide this down. And now come to our American Pale Ale. Now in the video, I think I even mentioned at the time that this beer might not turn out. And what the issue was where I got the recipe. I'd used the recipes before. They had real good recipes. And this is for a 1 gallon batch. Now if you watched the 1 gallon brewing series, a lot of the videos, my starting water volume is generally around 1.75 gallons or roughly 7 quarts. That recipe called for some reason 9 quarts, and I thought that was a little high, but I was like, well, I think we might have done like a longer boil or something else or was in there. Still too much water. Our original gravity was only 1040. We were shooting for 1055. Our final gravity came out at only 1016, so we're only around 3% alcohol by volume. We missed on that one. Like I said, it was just the water, and I should have known better, but I've used the recipes and kind of, all right, well, there's a reason for this, and I should have known better. Generally, like I said, most of these recipes I've used, depending on the grain bill, you're going to be around 7 quarts, maybe 8 at times, depending. But any more than that, and again, unless it's an unusually large grain bill, that's probably too much water. You're going to have a weaker beer, and that's kind of probably what I ended up with. I will be interested to see, though, how it came out flavor-wise, because the additional water, we still should have been all right. It still should have given us a full fermentation, just there was too much water. Check my notes. Yeah, and there's Kveikes. So this is the first one with the Kveikes, too. That's another thing I'm really interested to see. We talked about Kveikes work in hotter temperatures. We're brewing in warmer temperatures out here in Vegas. And we're more importantly fermenting in conditions that are a little bit warmer, and it would handle that stress without adding too much of those funky flavors. Even though Kveikes, if you get it up into like, let's say, the low 90s, it will give off some of those flavors, but they tend to be more of a fruit flavor, not real crazy. So let's give it a try. All right, a little carbonation, not as much as I want to. It's a little hazy, but not too bad. Oh, it smells nice. Now I get plenty of the hops on the nose. You know what? Just beside the fact it's only 3%, this is a nice little drinker. This has turned out all right. If I got just the carbonation right, I think I could hand this out at a generic craft beer bars, just their house pale ale. I don't think anybody would know it. I'm not going to say say it would great, but I think no one would know it. No one would disagree. Like, oh yeah, this is probably from a craft brewery. Like it. Wow, that did turn out. I don't like to brag, but I'm kind of impressed. Just enough hops. It's not as hoppy as some of the pale ales you'll see out there. Kind of reminds me a little bit more of like the Boddington's, kind of this nice mellow. Even though it's a West Coast hop, it kind of just fits. And again, at only 3% ABV, you didn't want to hop bomb it because there wasn't enough of that malt sweetness kind of carried through the diluted deal. But this works. I'm going to have to redo this recipe. This may be another video I do down the line. I'll have to redo this get the water volume right, and give it a try, because this turned out really nice. I will, trust me, I am crushing this thing after the end of the video. Well, guys, like to know what you think about this. Any comments, concerns? I will say this too, real quick. I want to speak on the carbonation. I think it wasn't until I've done a few of these videos and done a couple tastings where I think I see a potential error. As you guys know, I love homebrew kits. I have all kinds of kits and stuff laying around. One of the things I'm giving kits is these little carbonation drops. And I'll utilize those instead of using priming sugar or malt extract or whatever. Part of the problem is those generally, depending on which one, are designed for 16-ounce bottles, and these are 22s. And but it's kind of hard to do 1.5 of those tablets because they're rock hard and stuff. So I just kind of use one. So I'm probably going to need to adjust on future batches. I think that might be my carbonation issue there. So, well, anyway, guys, like I said, I hope you like this video. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please leave them in the comment section. Also, please like the video because it lets YouTube know we're putting out good content. And until next time, bottoms up.